Equality. That's what I like to see. This article is from last year. It's a little bit on the older side, and it comes to us from RT, which is Russia Today. I openly admit that I do know that this is Russian state uh, publication. Like, this is their outlet. But, a story is a story, and this is actually a pretty good story. The story isn't even in Russia. The story is in the UK. Cases of sex abuse by women rocket as boys begin to come forward and report them. Oh, okay. So it's not just men who are awful and terrible predators. Weird. Courts in the UK are seeing more cases of sex abuse involving women. Record numbers of women are being convicted of sexual abuse crimes, according to new figures. In just 2 years, the number of females brought before the courts and found guilty has almost doubled, from 74 in 2014 to 142 in 2016. The number of women convicted of sex crimes has tripled since the beginning of the decade, and the charge of sex with a minor brought against women over the age of consent has rocketed, the most recent figures from the Ministry of Justice show. Cases include that of ex-private schoolgirl Gail Newland, 25, who was jailed for 8 years in November 2015 after she fooled her friend into having sex by pretending to be a man. The bizarre case shocked when it emerged Newland wore a fake penis to sleep with the woman. Many cases include sex with minors, especially by women in positions of trust. Experts said the film industry has documented sexual affairs between women and students as something other than grooming and criminal. Steve Lowe, director of Phoenix Forensic Consultants, which treats and assesses child sex abusers, said the rise has occurred because we are more prepared as a society to accept that women can be sexual predators, and we are beginning to change our perception of the idea that a young male having sex with an adult woman is a rite of passage. And I got to tell you guys, like, a quick reprieve, because I was in that position as well. When I was a kid, I had a older completely adopted sister who had my face in her box. So I understand what these guys are going for, and didn't consider it a rite of passage at all. And honestly, I don't know how that screwed me up to this very moment as far as relationships and things like that goes. So that's part of the reason I guess these stories really stick with me, and why I have a bit of a craw in my hide about just the whole Me Too, Believe Women movement, because people are people and people can be awful. Now, we would question a 13-year-old boy having sex with a 28-year-old woman. Now we would question a 13-year-old boy having sex with a 28-year-old woman. In the past, that was more likely to have been accepted. But if you reverse that, it is obvious that a 28-year-old man having sex with a 13-year-old girl is abusive. Historically, sex with an older woman was routinely seen as a positive thing for young males. It's possible that films such as The Graduate reinforce this view, but I would never accept that. These are distorted relationships and connections. I believe that the age matters. I really do. Like, if my man 15, I'm willing to give a bit more of a pass than like 8 or 9, like when it happened to me, but the adult should always be the adult. And unfortunately, that's just not the case. I think when you have a 13-year-old boy and a 28-year-old woman, on average, I believe you have 2 children in the room. I don't think that there is an adult in that room. Of the 142 female sex offenders, 16 women were convicted of sexually assaulting males and 21 guilty of the same offense against women and girls. See, nobody's safe. Hide your kids. 6 were convicted of forced entry, 37 of sexual activity with or involving a child, 1 of sexual grooming, 35 for internet child pornography offenses, and 4 for exposure and voyeurism. In the same year, 10,911 sex offenses involving children were perpetuated by men. It is also likely that greater education of young males allows them to talk about having been sexually abused. Dr. Kieran McCartan, Associate Professor of Criminology at the University of West England in Bristol, said, "We are seeing an increase in the reporting, recording, and sentencing of female perpetuators of sexual harm, nationally and internationally. This is down to a number of factors, including increased numbers of victims coming forward, more attuned police investigations, more cases being referred to the courts, and more cases being successful." Okay, so that's it. That's the entirety of the article. But the reason I wanted to get into it is because I was going over it. Like, it kind of runs into a theme that's up on the YouTube channel. And that's, anybody can be evil. Like, your genitalia, your orientation, your race, your eye color, none of those things matter when it comes to the decency of a human being. And as much as it may pain for people to understand or people to get, women can be just as vicious, and in a lot of cases even more vicious than men, because of the inherent vulnerability within, that just comes naturally with being feminine and being a female. So, and plus it's a matter of power as well. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And, but the weird thing about that is that it's not just absolute power that corrupts. You can give somebody, you can make somebody hall monitor. That's not absolute power, but I've seen, those hall monitor nerds who, hey, where's your pass? You know what I'm talking about if you've ever been to school. And so, and they'll sit there and trip balls a little bit, get a little power drunk. So, when you put these females in positions, because that's a huge thing, man. What, matter of fact, hold on. Let's see if we can Google this right quick. Let's see. Female teacher accused of having sex with a 16-year-old former student. All of these pictures. So is this like the list? Let's check this out right quick. 25 female student sex crime sex scandals. Woman. You see what I'm saying? Some of them aren't too terrible. Like, she's okay. She look like she got a big head. She look alright too. Oh, like that. I'm a fan of redheads. Oh, Mary Kay Letourneau. I remember that. She was wrapped up in that meat. I think didn't she get pregnant like twice or something like that? Oh, wow. Oh, man, Jennifer. Okay, Lisa. All right. Say, Carrie, make it like that. Like, that's the thing. Give them an inch, man. They take that mile. So, she's cute, but she's a sex offender. Yeah, I hate to call you guys like terrible people, because that's my 35%. Oh man, I'm a nice dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate to call you terrible people, but you're all terrible people who took advantage of children. Yikes. Swagger? Man, you should change that O to an A. That'd be a dope name. Tracy Tap that ass. Pamela Turner. Jamie Wallace. Ooh, she looks like that lady. She was on that show, The Good Wife. Marigold, what's her name? I cannot remember that woman's name, but she looks like the lady that plays on The Good Wife. Yeah, so that's it for that. But just to clear this up, and wrap up this video, like, the vulnerable will always be the vulnerable, and when the vulnerable feel as if they're in a position to actually dominate and have a little bit of control, don't be surprised when they abuse that power. And that's really what, these all of these really represent. So, with that being said, thanks so much for putting up with me, all the internet stuff. If you like this video, toss it a like. If you enjoyed my fantastic voice, hit it up with a share. With a sub. The share is because, like, seriously, it doesn't matter what's between your legs. If you're an awful person, you're an awful person. Plain and simple. And speak, have you gone through anything like this? Did you, what's the name? Did you see anything like this? How do you feel about power dynamics, and do you believe that power dynamics play a larger role in these types of situations than not? I love to hear your interest, your insights and your thoughts. That's what the comment section is for. And until the next video, later.